This broadcast is brought to you by Colby Brooks with Century 21 Right Pace Real Estate and buyfrombrooks.com. Let Colby Brooks handle all of your real estate needs.
Now, Stan Morris reporting.
You may have already seen the news, but we're coming on the air to explain it if you've not and possibly break it to you as well. Confirmed in Craighead County, COVID-19. We found this out in several ways just a moment ago from the Craighead County clerk, who posted a release, portions of it at least, that said that both the county judge Marvin Day and Jonesboro Mayor Harold Perrin were confirming this. However, shortly after I noticed that, just to be safe and thorough with this, I contacted city spokesperson Bill Campbell, and he said there is one confirmed case of COVID-19 in Craighead County. Apparently, when this happens, just as we have previously seen, what happens is the state officials contact the city officials, give them the heads up, and then we learn about it later in the day during the press conference. We know that because numbers released this morning showed that there were 46 confirmed cases as of today, as of this morning in Arkansas, but we also know those cases did not include Craighead County, because they released a map as well. Let's show you that map now. Craighead County was still grayed out on this map. We'll come back to that in a second because I want to finish going through the numbers, but that means that this afternoon the number will go up to at least 47. We know that for sure right now. Also, we can tell you, as of right now, there are 113 persons under investigation, up one from last night's numbers that we had received. In addition to that, we have more numbers. 441 people being monitored for an enhanced risk. Past negative PUIs or persons under investigation, 310. So let me tell you what that math means really quickly. Feel free to rewind and watch this a couple of times. Confirmed cases, obviously, positives. Persons with PUIs, negative results, past negative PUIs, 310s, negative test results. And persons under investigation, test results we're waiting on. In other words, if you have a test that's sent out on somebody, it's not necessarily a cause for panic, and shouldn't be, because statistically speaking, it's a 46 out of 356 chance of testing positive. And so that's not very high of a chance. It's still likely, even when the test is being performed, that it's going to come back negative. But still yet, there are a lot more tests being performed. We know, taking a look at the map right now, this was released this morning on the left. The one on the right, I think, was still from last night. But you can see it's spreading further out. In Cleveland County, at least 5 cases now. And of course, that's much closer to northeast Arkansas than Jefferson or Pulaski, where most of the cases have been centered so far. But in Washington County, we're talking about near Fayetteville, perhaps in Fayetteville. We didn't get the exact location where, but a case was confirmed yesterday. It's reached out as far south as Bradley County in the map provided this morning. But if we're waiting on test results that are going to show it in Craighead County, as you can see on that map, that would be sort of the first or second time, I guess, besides Washington County, that it had broken out from that path out of central Arkansas. We may learn of more cases too. We don't know. That would be speculation, but what we can tell you is factually there's going to be 47 this afternoon at least, because we're going to learn of Jonesboro's and Craighead County's case. Once again, the breaking news this afternoon, it is in Craighead County, according to city spokesperson Bill Campbell and according to a post from Craighead County Clerk Kate Holliday citing County Judge Marvin Day and also the mayor of Jonesboro, Harold Perrin. That means if you've not been taking precautions yet, this is another example of why you should. There's only been, and I saw some people, as always, being cynical when they're saying to themselves, well, there's only 46 cases. Yeah, out of 310 cases, actually rather 356, that have been tested. There's only been 356 tests in Arkansas so far for this. Once those tests ramp up, which we're expecting to happen, I think it's going to be next week, according to the U.S. task force we heard from today, an influx of tests are going to be made available. And they're going to be doing a backlog. There's a current backlog right now, which you can even see on the screen, of at least 113 that are being waited on. So possibly 441 that should also be tested, right? That being the case, that's going to come about next week, and the numbers will increase dramatically to find out where we actually are. And we're being warned about that so as not to panic. But the point is that 46 number is not right. We already know it's not right because we know it's 47 at least. But we also know it's not representative of more than about 350 tests overall out of how many millions of Arkansans. And this state is not the state most affected by this. The numbers have been going through the roof in New York, in California, and other locations in the world, of course, in Italy, and the death rate is much higher than the flu, which, as I said the other day on the show, 31 million Americans, according to the CDC, got the flu this season, something there is a vaccine for, by the way. COVID-19, if you apply the death rate of the flu to the 31 million, 4% is where it's at in the world right now, it would be over, in just America, 1 million deaths plus. That's over twice how many Americans died in World War II. And so when you see the world shutting down and saying we're at war with a virus, it's correct. And the war is going to have casualties. We aren't there in Arkansas yet with a death. We have been in other states. I believe the number was over 100 in New York that have died. In America, the mortality rate as of yesterday was 2%. Even if 2% of 31 million, we're still over the 400,000 level. It's about 600,000. And those numbers, and I say the 400,000 level because if you remember in social studies, 410 or 20,000 or so died in America. Americans died in World War II. That's enormous. Less than 100,000 Americans died in Vietnam. And we're still talking about that. And people are still not taking this seriously. Please, folks, we're going to learn more later today. But if you're not already, practice social distancing. It's being repeated by every expert, every public health official, every side of the political aisle, Republican, Democrat, it does not matter. This virus does not care. And there is a new report out today that younger people are more susceptible, perhaps, than they previously believed. The older people are more at risk. But it's not just a virus that's targeting the elderly. There was a tragic report of a single family that had been in a family gathering where multiple family members have now died from it that were at a family gathering. That's not a local story, obviously. That's something that took place, I think it was in New England, in one of the New England states. But just imagine if you were responsible for transmitting it to someone else who then suffered that fate. It would be something that most people would have a hard time forgiving themselves for. So even if you're healthy as could be, we ask that you still consider other people and consider misinformation as well. So whatever you spread or post online that's not true, whether it's something that worsens the panic or something that makes people feel a false sense of security, either direction, those have consequences. We're trying to fact check everything we say here on NEA Report. In fact, that's always what we do. That's why before we went on the air, we called the city and made sure what we were reading is correct. Of course, you may have already read it from KIT. They sent out a breaking news alert a short time ago. But COVID-19 confirmed in Craighead County, and that's our report right now. We'll be back this afternoon with a report from the governor, a live stream from him. We'll watch that together on NEA Report. Thanks for joining us. Stan Morris reporting in Jonesboro.